Hey, welcome to module 3 of Allow More. I am so excited to be here. I'm honored to be here. I'm honored to be on this journey with you. This is probably by far the most elaborate module. I'm so excited to deliver this message to you. This is the module that pieces it all together. This is the module, right? If you got nothing else from this course except for this module, it would be enough. And as I said, I'm really excited that Source has worked through me in order to translate this message and deliver it to you. I've been doing a lot of study, a lot of research over the last few years, especially over the last few months, condensing everything that I know in order for me to understand it and deliver the message in a way that you can understand it and apply it. So that's what's important to me. Now, this module is called Manifesting, but what it really should be called is Allowing, because that's what this course was about. It was called Allow More, and it was about allowing more of the feelings you desire into your experience. And the way I want to start this module off is by basically explaining to you the process of manifesting and how we go about manifesting or allowing things into our physical experience. Now, module 1, you learned about self-love and about how important it is to raise your vibration, less so about raising vibration as much as it is releasing resistance, because when we release resistance, like a cork that's pushed underwater, as soon as we release resistance, it pops back up. All right, and that's us. We are naturally high frequency, so all we need to do is release the resistance and we'll be floating back up. All right, so that was module 1. Module 2 was about intuitive action. So I talked a lot about your intuition, about listening to your soul, allowing your soul to speak to you and taking action accordingly. Now, this module ties it all together. It explains what either of those have to do with the manifesting process and how you can apply it to your life in a really simple way. Now, please note there's so much I could talk about. I could literally sit here and be on a 3-week video with you just talking about this subject. I'm going to try and condense it as much as I can in order for you to understand it and apply it in the easiest possible way. However, I will make sure that the workbook includes all of my notes that I don't necessarily mention here. I may even include it as an additional workbook, which just covers more like a guidebook that covers all the information that I wanted to share with you today. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so the manifesting process, or whatever we're here to experience in this physical world, is a 3-part process. Actually, it's more than 3 parts, but we'll stick to 3 parts today. All right, so first, you experience feelings that don't feel good to you. All right, so we refer to this, and through the teachings of Abraham, we refer to this as contrast, feelings that don't feel good. Now, they don't feel good to you because they are not in harmony with who you really are and what you really desire. And that's why they don't feel good, because you feel separation between where you are and where you desire to be, right? Because vibrationally, you already have what you desire. As soon as you ask, you receive. So vibrationally, you already have it, and that's why they don't feel good. All right, so contrast, you experience this feeling that doesn't feel good. And what does it allow you to do? It allows you to ask straight away. All right, so as soon as I experience something I don't necessarily like, what I'm actually doing subconsciously is determining what I do like. So I am being much more clear with my request, my desire, what I desire to receive in lieu of what I'm experiencing right now. So let me give you an example. Let's say I'm not making the right money in my business. All right, so it's not where I want it to be. I'm not making, the money that I thought I would be making, and I'm maybe struggling. It feels like a struggle, and I feel uncomfortable, and I feel stress and anxiety and all of those negative feelings. All right. Now, when I'm experiencing this contrast, what I'm actually doing is determining what it is I do want. So in the knowing of what I don't want, I determine what I do want. So what do I really want? I want a feeling of ease. I want a feeling of freedom. I want a feeling of joy. I want a feeling of celebration, success, abundance, right? So I am determining what it is I do want. And through that clarity, through that clarifying experience, I am asking the universe universe for what I desire. All right, so I experience the contrast, I experience the negative feeling, I determine that there's a discord between where I am and where I desire to be. I'm much more clear with where I desire to be, and I project that desire into the universe. Now, currently where I stand right now, I'm vibrating at the frequency of that which I don't like. Right? Because that's the contrast I'm experiencing. So I'm vibrating at that frequency. So in order for me to receive the desire, I obviously need to vibrate at the frequency of the desire itself. All right, and the desire itself and the experience that I'm having right now, they're not the same frequency. They're a complete different vibration. So I need to get myself there. So step one is that you ask, and you ask through the contrast, through being more clear. And sometimes it's just things that you desire. You know what you don't want, so you determine what you do want. All right, and when you ask for what you do want, that's you asking the universe. Now, as soon as you ask, simultaneously you receive. The vibrational part of you goes and becomes that desire. All right, so vibrationally you have already received. As soon as I ask vibrationally, more of me receives it. All right, so I want you to think of yourself as this. We are currently physical beings experiencing this physical existence, right? But more of us than is physical is non-physical. All right, so we come from the non-physical, and to the non-physical we will return. And during this physical experience, we are more non-physical than we are physical. All right, so think of this. I'm going to show you a picture actually. All right, so think of yourself as this diagram right here. And I'll include this in the workbook. This is the physical experience right here. All right, but this is the non-physical part of us. All right, so every time we ask for anything, vibrationally, the non-physical part of us has no resistance, has no limitation. So the non-physical part of us has already said, fuck yeah, you got it. It's all yours. No worries. It's done. And so it is. It's here now, everywhere you want it to be right in this moment. But that physical part of us is holding on to all the resistance, but it's not possible for it to come right now. I don't see it. I don't believe it. I'm not worthy of that. I have to work really hard for that. Maybe it's a 5-year goal. I can't have it right now. It's not possible right now. I don't know how I would make it happen right now. So the physical part of us is resisting the manifestation of that desire right now. But vibrationally, we already have it. The way I like to imagine this is imagine you have played lottery and you receive, the numbers come up on the screen and you have the winning ticket. All the numbers align, you have checked online, and you were the only winner of the grand prize of $40 million. Right now, that feeling is where you should be, where you want to be. That feeling of knowing that you have it, right? Knowing that you've won, but you haven't yet gone and claimed the prize, right? But a lot of us will have the winning ticket in our pocket and be like, but that's not possible for me. I can never have that. All right, so do you see the difference? It's just a perception difference. You don't, in either of those explanations, you don't have the prize, but one of you knows you have it and the other one doesn't. All right, so I want you to be in a place of knowing that you vibrationally have what you have asked for, and all you have to do is allow it into your physical experience. And you do that through the elimination of resistance. And it doesn't even have to be the complete elimination of resistance. It just has to be you not resisting more than you're resisting. All right, the tip of the scale, so to speak. Okay, so that is step 2. So step 1 is you ask. Step 2 is you receive. Step 3 is you allow. All right, so step 1 is your job. You ask the universe. And we do this whether we're consciously aware of this or not. We're constantly asking. Whatever we focus on is what we're vibrationally asking for. So as soon as I focus on something, it expands into my vortex, into my vibration, and I receive it instantly. Part 2, the receiving part, is the universe's job. You don't do that. All right, the universe gives it to you instantly. As soon as I ask, I receive. That's the universe's job. I don't need to have anything to do with that. Part 3 is the allowing, and this is where we get caught up. It's easy for us to ask. We ask all the time. I want this, I want that, I desire this is what I do want, this is what I don't want. Whatever I focus on, whether positive or negative, the universe doesn't see negative, it sees neutrality. So whatever I focus on is what I'm asking for. We do this constantly, all the time, conscious or unconscious of this, we are doing it, right? So you don't even need to try hard at the asking. But part 3 is the part where we're just like, hold on, I don't know how to allow this into my experience. And you resist it from physically manifesting. You resist yourself from allowing it to flow into your experience. Now, how do you know if you're in the receiving mode or if you're resisting it? How do you feel? You have an inbuilt emotional guidance system, right? Within you, tells you exactly whether you're in the vicinity of what you desire or whether you're far from it. All right, now let me give you an example. Are you feeling excitement? Are you feeling anticipation? Are you feeling joy, happiness, gratitude, love, full of blessings, really hopeful? You're anticipating it all coming. You're just absolutely thrilled with life. If any of those feelings describe your life right now or how you're feeling in this moment, then you're in the vicinity of your desire. It's really that simple. If you're feeling doubtful, if you're feeling fear or worry or stress or anxiety, then you are not in the vicinity of your desire. What you're actually feeling is discord with the alignment of your desire. You're vibrating at a different frequency. You know that it exists for you. The only reason we feel the discord, the only reason we feel the negative energy is because we have it vibrationally. Now let's say, and the way I can prove this to you is, let's say I show you, let me give you an example. This Black Panther tin. All right, this was a popcorn tin that I got from the movies when I watched Black Panther. Now, you don't have this right now. Do you feel any stress about it? Does it worry you that you don't have it? No, because you haven't asked for it. This is not something that you desire. So you feel no resistance to it, right? You feel no resistance. You feel no discord to not having it because vibrationally you didn't want it in the first place. It's not in your vortex. You haven't asked for it. Now, let's say it's something that you really want. Let's say it's something that vibrationally you have asked for and received. Then you will feel the discord to it, right? It will feel like it's missing. It will feel like it's not here now because vibrationally you have it. Does that make sense? We don't feel discord with everything. Not everything feels negative. I don't look at everything and feel upset that I don't have it because I don't want everything. I want whatever's in my own vortex, right? I want whatever I have asked for vibrationally and received. And that's why you feel discord. That's why you feel the stress, the worry, the doubt. But as soon as you feel those feelings, you're feeling the discord, you're feeling the separation between you and your own non-physical, and therefore you are not allowing it into your experience because you see the separation. But as soon as I feel joy, excitement, anticipation, hope, and fun, and freedom, and abundance, and all of that, I'm seeing no separation. I become my desire. I become a vibrational match. I am in alignment. I am in the receiving mode of that which I desire. And then the universe can bring it to me in its own way, in its own time. How, when, where, that's not up to me. What's up to me is what I want and why I want it. That's all I have to focus on. What I want and why I want it. Then I have to focus on feeling joy, love, excitement, gratitude, appreciation for what I have right now in my experience, being in that receiving mode, being at that frequency, and then everything can flow to me with ease. Because as I said, vibrationally, it is already yours. Okay, so that was just the summary. Yes, that was just the summary. Now let's get into the details, breaking those 3 parts into sections. I'm going to refer to my notes throughout this as well because I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. Okay, so number 1 is you ask. Contrast causes you to ask. As soon as you ask, it goes into your vortex. All right, number 2 is you receive. As soon as you ask, your request is yielded by the universe. Vibrationally, you already have it. All right, there is no time delay. As soon as I ask, vibrationally, it's in my vortex. Vibrationally, I have it. And number 3 is the allowing. Number 3 is your job. Number 3 is what we're working on right now. Number 3 is where it's at. Number 3 is about your own realizing of it, like that lottery ticket. The lottery ticket's in your pocket. Do you realize it's there? Do you realize you have the winning ticket, the winning numbers? Everything has aligned perfectly. Until you come to that realization that it is already yours, then it's not. Right? I could have the winning ticket in my pocket and live my entire life not knowing it's there. Right? And because I haven't come to the realization of it, I cannot bask in the joy of it right now. I can't feel the juice of it right now because I'm not in alignment with that realization. So I need to get myself there. I need to see the winning lottery ticket in my pocket. And I don't need proof that it's there. I just need the feeling that it's there. All right, knowing that it exists for me vibrationally, and all I have to do is be in alignment, be in the receiving mode to allow it into my experience. Okay, so now we're gonna break it down. All right, so we'll start with part 1. Part 1, I've explained to you that the contrast causes you to ask. Contrast is the feeling that doesn't feel good. You feel discord between where you are and where you desire to be, what you want and what you don't want. You can determine it, you can clarify the process. Now, a lot of us see contrast as negative. We see it as a feeling that we don't want, and we see it as destructive. But contrast is actually highly creative, because it's in the contrast that we can clarify what it is we do want. It's in the contrast that we create the manifestation. Now, I'm going to read you a passage from my notes to explain this in the most perfect way ever imaginable. All right, so contrast is a part of the manifestation. Contrast is anything that feels unwanted. It feels that way because it's the feeling of lack of harmony with something that you want, with your desire. Now, we perceive contrast as destructive, as I just mentioned. But in fact, contrast is not destructive, it's highly creative. And the constant changing form of our reality is an expression of our creation. The creation caused by the contrast, because contrast allows us to be more clear about what we do want, causing us to ask. All right, so that's step one. And our perception of the contrast is what gives it meaning. All right, so if we're experiencing something that we don't want, but then we see it as a negative, right? We see it as, well, I don't have what I desire. I'm too far away from it. I'm never going to get there. Then that's what we create. We give it meaning. But if we see the contrast as part of the manifestation, as part of the process that allows us to be more clear about what it is we do want, then we are giving it a different meaning. We're giving it a different frequency. Does that make sense? But we often make it far too personal. Why is this happening to me? Why is the storm so destructive? Is God punishing us? We make it really personal. We make everything super personal. It's not personal, it's just vibration. It's just energy. But our perception of the hate or the destruction or the fear or the doubt or the worry is what destroys us. Not the manifestation itself, not the creation itself. It's our perception of the creation that destroys us, not the creation itself. The creation is a result of our perception and not the other way around. So it's in our perception of contrast as destructive that makes it so. It's in our perception of contrast as negative that makes it so. It's in our perception of us being far away from our desires that makes it so. We perceive and create simultaneously. As we perceive, we create. You give it all meaning. So that's just a quick summary on contrast. So when you're experiencing anything in this world, I want you to feel it being beneficial to you, because it's providing you one of two things. One, it's bringing you clarity, enhancing your desire, allowing your desire to grow, because the more clear I am with what I do want, the more I allow it to expand. Or two, it's satisfying your desire. It's fulfilling it right here, right now. Right? So you're either clarifying your desire or fulfilling your desire right here, right now. You're either experiencing the manifestation or you're clarifying exactly what it is you desire to manifest. Does that make sense? So that's all contrast is. Don't see it as destructive. Don't see it as negative. Don't see it as discord from where you desire to be. Relish in it. Relish in the fact that it's part of the manifestation. It's helping you become more clear about what it is you desire. Okay, so that brings me to the purpose of life. This is part of step one, part of the asking process. The purpose of life is joyous expansion. Not expansion. Expansion is inevitable. We will always ask, we will always expand the universe. If every conversation we have expands the universe, because we take it to a place it has never been before, creating more than what was there before. All right, so we are always expanding. But your purpose here, the reason why you signed up for the ticket to this physical journey, you were waiting in line and be like, I want a ticket to that experience because that looks like fun. This is the roller coaster that you have it lined up for hours for, because you wanted to experience this time and space right now, because you wanted to experience joyous expansion. Expansion is experienced by all physical or non-physical energy. You could have experienced all of this on the non-physical side. Right? And you do. When you go back there, you experience expansion. But we are currently where we are physically. We're on the leading edge of expansion. It's us that creates. It's us that expands. We expand the universe because we ask. We ask and we allow. We ask and we allow. We ask, receive, and allow. We ask, receive, and allow. All right? And that process expands the universe. You wanted to be here and you wanted to experience the joy of it. Remember going back a few modules when I talked about the ice cream flavor? You wanted to experience what it was like to taste and lick the ice cream, to choose the different flavors, to make it fun, to sometimes drop your ice cream all over you and have to go buy a new one. That's what you wanted to experience. You wanted that joyous expansion, and that is why you are here. You're never going to get there because you're always going to keep asking. As soon as we receive, we ask for something else. As soon as we receive, we ask for something else. As soon as we receive, we ask for something else. But you wanted to experience this joyous expansion, and that's why you're here. Okay, so part two is simple. I don't have to explain it much because it is not our job. It is the universe's job. As soon as you ask, you receive. Vibrationally, you have received it. The universe yields to you what you have asked for. All right, it is in your vortex. All you have to do is then align with it in order to allow it into your experience. It already exists. I ask, I receive instantly. There is no time delay. Think of a dream. Yeah, in your dream state, as soon as you think of something, as soon as you feel a certain way, it manifests physically. All right, in your dream, there is no time delay. All right, you jump from sequence to sequence to sequence, determined by how you feel. Your emotional guidance system, your alignment with your source manifests things physically for you. We can do the same thing in our physical state, in our conscious state, but we find all of these limitations. We have so much resistance. We see our physical bodies as limitations to the actualization and the realization of the desire, that we create a time delay. But really, there is no time delay if we're there vibrationally. All right, step 3. This is about allowing. Go with the flow and allow it into your experience. There is nothing that you have to do except for be in the receiving mode, except for being in alignment with your own source, vibrating at the same frequency as your desire, that you can yield it to you. Now, let's say I have my winning lottery ticket in my pocket, but I'm stressed. I have no idea how I'm going to win this lottery. I have no idea. I'm going to try and figure out how I'm going to buy every lottery ticket on the planet. I am going to stress about it. I'm going to worry about it. I'm going to feel like I don't have it. I'm going to feel that it's so far away from me, that it's not possible for me. Only some people are lucky. I'm not that lucky. Am I ever going to look in my pocket and assume that it's there? I may even reach into my pocket, but I'm not going to feel that ticket because I'm not a vibrational match to the frequency of that ticket. The only thing that will allow me to come to the realization of it is if I'm vibrating on the same frequency of it. If I'm feeling it, if I feel that it's in my pocket, then it is. So to be in alignment with your inner being, is a synonym for your vortex, for your source energy, for the universe. So to allow it, I have to be in alignment with it. Okay, so how do we get into our vortex? Getting into our vortex is alignment with our own source energy, is alignment with our inner being, is the realization of the desire in its physical manifestations. How do we get into the vortex? It's just another way of saying getting into alignment with who you really are, because who you really are already has it all. Who you really are has already realized that all is given as soon as you ask. You have to get into alignment. So how do you do that? Your vortex is the creation of your whole world, right? You create as you perceive, you create. As you perceive, you create. As you ask, you create. As you ask, you receive. All right, your vortex is the creation of your entire world, and the expansion of the entire universe collectively. It is the vibrational frequency of all that you are. Right, so your vortex, everything that you've asked for, like imagine it as a physical vortex, but it's not really a physical vortex, it's just a vibrating state. It is all that you are, all right, physical, non-physical. When you're not in the vortex, or when you're not in alignment with who you really are, everything seems so far away. It seems like a big effort. I have to try so hard in order for me to get that. Think about people who work really hard their entire lives, right? And I come from a working family background where for me it was like work hard and you'll make good money. Work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard. The mindset was working hard. That doesn't mean it didn't yield results. It did, but everything seemed like so much effort. We had to work so hard in order to yield because we believed it to be that way. We believed that I had to try so hard, put in so much effort in order to receive. All right, so I was not in the vicinity of my vortex. I wasn't allowing it to come easily to me. But when you're in the vortex, when you're in alignment, when you feel good, it all feels easy. It feels like it's just flowing to you naturally because it is, right? Because that is what I've created. That's the belief that I have created. That's the belief that I choose to be my core belief, to be my absolute truth. And therefore, that is what it becomes. So one person who's in alignment with their inner being, one person who's in alignment with their vortex is more powerful than millions of people who are not. And that's why you see, in this world that there are the few, the small percentage who are absolutely thriving. And I don't necessarily mean billionaires and all of that. That's a part of it, of course, but thriving in life, feeling like everything is working in their favor. And then the majority who are not, because more people are not in alignment with their inner being. More people see separation between where they are and where they desire to be, and they cannot find that connection. They are constantly in the feeling of discord, of separation, the lack of harmony with who they truly are and what they truly desire. So when you're in the vortex, you're creating with ease, and that's what I desire for you. That's the purpose that this course serves, because I want you to be able to create with ease. And that doesn't mean that you're going to ask and receive instantly, because sometimes we ask, but we're not a vibrational match for that request, because really it's not what we desire. All right, so there's so many layers to this, but I want you to get what you desire quickly, easily, efficiently, in a way that feels so natural, so next step, so logical. It makes so much sense to you. I don't want this information to be foreign knowledge to you. I want it to be something that you understand, that it's second nature to you. So when you don't feel good, you're not in your vortex. You're not even in the proximity of your vortex. All right, so what I want you to do, an activity that works, is I want you to step away from whatever's making you not feel good. All right, so if you're in a situation where people are talking about, how hard the work is, how it's so hard to get clients, how you're never going to find the perfect lover, how all the men out there are terrible, how whatever the story is, if it doesn't make you feel good, if it makes you feel separation between where you are and where you desire to be, walk away from it. I cut off conversations real quick. Someone's saying something that I don't like, and I'll be like, I'm sorry, but I can't finish this conversation. I don't want to talk about this anymore. And either I give them an opportunity to change the subject and lift the vibration of the room, change the energy of the room, or I get out of there quick, smart. And I am unapologetic about it, because I set my boundaries. I want to maintain this very high vibration. And that includes my family. Sometimes I'm sitting with my family, my parents and my sister, and I'll be like, I'm out of here, because I don't have the energy to put up with this. And at the time, I'm too exhausted to give all of my time and energy on explaining how this isn't the right frequency for what we desire, on being in the receiving mode. So I just get out of there. I walk away from it, and it's really simple to do. And then I go and I release my resistance by making myself feel good. I replace that negative feeling with thoughts and feelings that feel good to me, and there you go. I bounce back up, floating, bobbing on the water. And as soon as I access the vortex, meaning as soon as I'm in alignment with my inner being, as soon as I start to feel good and I'm in that feeling of gratitude, appreciation, excitement, joy, freedom, all of those really good feelings, then everything is clear to me. That's when you tap into your intuitive nudges. That's when you receive the call from your vortex, because it's constantly calling you, but we're so blocked with resistance, so blocked with our self-imposed limitations that we're not hearing the call. Okay, because there's so much internal chatter. So as soon as I'm in that good place, I get all of these amazing inspired ideas. Like the other night, for whatever reason, I was having a really great day. I was super high vibe. I was just feeling myself that day. I decided to put on the TV. I don't watch TV often, but for whatever reason, I was called to watch TV. I saw Inception on the TV, the movie Inception. I don't know why it was not playing for another hour and a half. I decided that I was going to watch it. I was going to stay up late that night and I was going to watch it. I recorded. From me watching that movie, it ignited all of these ideas within me for not my next course, but my course after that. It literally wrote itself. And I was just like, that's what you do when you're in alignment with your inner being. When I'm in my vortex, everything comes so easily. I don't even have to think about it. I don't have to think about this business. It literally flows on paper. I want to show you what I created for this video, all right? Here's a small demonstration of everything I wrote for this video. It came so easily to me. I didn't have to think twice about it. I didn't have to think about the creative process. I didn't even have to think about the creation, the manifesting. All I did was put myself in a place where I felt good. And I felt the feelings of you receiving what you needed to receive from this. And so it is. What's in your vortex and what's in this time-space reality. If there's a gap between that, so if there's something that you desire that is not yet manifested into your physical reality, it's because you have more resistance to that desire or about that subject going on than you do belief or expectation about that desire or subject. Does that make sense? So there's more resistance there than there is belief or knowing that it's coming to you or that it exists vibrationally for you. So what do you have to do? Remember what I mentioned before, you have to tip the scale. There has to be more belief and expectation than there is resistance. Because when there's more resistance, that's where my focus is. That's where my point of focus is. That's where my point of attraction is. All right, so I want to change my focus. I want to tip the scale to be more in the expectation, more in the belief, more in the knowing. And therefore that becomes my point of focus, my point of attraction. Do you notice that we're not actually doing anything? There are no action steps except for feeling good, being in a place where I'm in alignment with my desire, where I believe, where I know, where I expect my desires to flow to me with ease, because I know they already exist vibrationally. Now, the thing about all of this that I want you to understand, that it's actually not a hard process at all. We overthink this. We think, I'm going to write 1,000,000 notes for this. Like, I'm going to provide you 1,000,000 notes for this. However, none of them are really necessary. The only thing that you need to remember, is that this is the process. You ask, and you will ask whether you're conscious of it or not. You ask what you desire all the time, because you see what you don't want and you determine what you do want. See what you don't want, you determine what you do want. The universe will yield it to you. So step 2, you receive it. You receive it without question. Vibrationally, as soon as you ask, you receive it. And step 3, you allow it, right? And you allow it by feeling good. You allow it by expecting it to come. You allow it by embracing the feelings you desire right now, right? That's how you allow. You allow by enjoying this life, by savoring the moment, by tasting the ice cream. That is how you receive. That is how you allow it into your physical experience. And you'll be so caught up in enjoying life. You'll be so caught up in basking in the juices of life and feeling the feelings now that you haven't even noticed that it just appeared. And you'll be like, one day you'll be like, hold on, I'm pretty sure I just asked for this. And here it is. Perfect example. So the other day I posted on my Instagram stories that I really wanted this dress. I found this dress online. I fell in love with it instantly. I posted on my Instagram stories, yes to the dress, ? I already knew that I was going to get the dress. It was already, like, I had put it in my vortex and I had already decided it was mine. I then was watching a TV show that said, see it, want it, have it. And I was just like, yeah, I saw the dress. I want the dress. I'm going to have the dress. And I was totally vibing with the dress, right? I could afford the dress. I was going to have the dress. I didn't check the sizes, but I assumed that it would have it in my size. I wanted it. About half an hour later, my sister sends me a text message saying, I love you, you deserve it. She had bought me the dress, right? And I was just like, hold on, was that the quickest manifestation of all time? I was in the expectation. I knew I was going to receive the dress. I hadn't bought the dress yet. It wasn't in my cart. Or I hadn't even looked at whether it had my size. I just knew I was going to have the dress. All right, the dress was mine. It was a given. I was going to buy the dress. I was going to get the dress. I was in that place that I felt so good, and I was just enjoying my show, happy, living my life. Knew I was going to get the dress later, no problem. And the dress yielded itself to me. The realization of the dress came to me. It fulfilled in front of my eyes. I didn't have to do anything. All I had to do was maintain my high vibration, maintain that good feeling, enjoying my life. I just went about enjoying my life. I knew that it was there. I knew that it was coming. If you can do that about anything in your life, then it will appear to you at all times. You don't have to go in search of it. It already exists for you. It will come to you. You need to allow it into your experience. Allow it to flow to you. Right, and the steps you take to get there will come to you intuitively when you're in alignment with your inner being. Okay, so how do we move in the direction of our desire? So this is your desire here. When you're worrying or doubting, there is resistance there. When you feel faith, or you're in the knowing, or you're in the believing, more so knowing with absolute certainty that it's going to come, there's no resistance there. Right? There's no resistance. You know, when you believe, there's a little resistance. When you hope, there's a little more resistance. But when you know, there's no resistance there. I know. I knew I was going to get that dress, and I did. Because I was in a place of knowing, there was no resistance there. It yielded itself to me. I was moving towards my desire without even having to do anything. I didn't even have to visualize it. Right? All I did was ask, got myself into a place of alignment, and I received. That is the process. That is the process. Okay, now what if you already have a trained mindset that has you often looking for proof of abundance, but instead finding proof of lack. So often, they tell us to listen to mantras or to repeat affirmations every day or to visualize or to do this exercise or to do that exercise and whatever. And I often do the same thing. But what I find is the more I'm doing these exercises, instead of visualizing abundance, I visualize what I don't have. Okay? And if that's the case for you, then step away. Stop doing the activity. Stop doing the activity that makes you feel that way and go back to doing whatever activity makes you feel good. Because it's the same thing. If that activity that focuses on the desire isn't making you feel good, then do an activity that does make you feel good, regardless of if it's about your desire or not, because your desire is already in your vortex. Your desire has already been received. All right, you have already received your desire vibrationally. So you don't need to have to specifically focus on the desire for it to manifest physically. You just have to focus on feeling good. All right, and once you feel good, and every time you feel good, then go back to the desire, because you're in a really good feeling place, that you then become in a place of expectation, of gratitude, of appreciation for what's coming, for the way the universe is going to bring it to you. So I want you to reach a feeling of satisfaction, satisfied with where you are, with what is, but eager for what's coming, excited for the expectation of what's on its way to you. All right, so that's the juice. That's the place you want to be at. Excited for what is, satisfied with life, so grateful for your life right now, but eager for more. And if we are talking about focus, what I want you to do is I want you to stop focusing on what is, because if what is making you feel good, keep focusing there. Be in that alignment with your vortex. But if it's not making you feel good, then stop focusing on what is. Stop focusing on the reality and start focusing on what is wanted, on that feeling of expectation, on the feeling of the desire, and try to embrace those feelings right now. I do want to mention this. When you focus on anything, what is it that I do want, or what is it that I don't want? All right, we live in an all-inclusive universe, which means whatever I focus on is what I am receiving. So wanted or unwanted, as soon as I ask, I vibrationally receive. That is the vibration I'm emitting to the universe. And energy is nothing without focus. So every thinker on the planet, all of us, we find things to focus on. Whether I'm focusing on this camera, whether I'm focusing on my message to you, whether I'm focusing on my next thought, whether I'm focusing on how I feel, whether I'm focusing on someone's conversation, whether I'm focusing on a desire, whether I'm focusing on a TV show, whether I'm focusing on today's terrible news, whatever I'm focusing on is what my frequency matches right in that moment. All right, that's what I'm vibrationally asking to receive in that moment. So your energy requires focus. I want you to focus on the things that make you feel good. That is your mission. Your mission, that is as simple as it gets. Focus on the things that make you feel good. What feelings do you desire? And try to embrace them right now. Don't try, embrace them right now. I'm about to rock your world in about 60 seconds. I'm going to read this off my script because it's absolutely incredible and I don't want to get it wrong, but I want you to listen carefully and I want you to be in the moment. I want you to listen to my words and I want you to take them on as soon as I say them. Okay, you ready for this? We believe that our consciousness is linear, past, present, future. But that's not the case. Do your memories feel real? Yes, of course they do. Our memories feel real to us. Do you believe they happened? Of course you do. They're your memory. Of course they happened. You believe them to be so. You have a vivid picture in your mind. Of course they happened. Do they feel certain? Of course they feel certain, G. I just told you. They happened. They're a memory. I believe them to be so. I can visualize it in my mind. Of course it happened. They feel absolutely certain. But are they happening right now? Well, no, of course not. They happened in the past. They're in my mind. They exist in my mind. They no longer exist in this physical world. They exist in my mind. Of course they happened, but they're not happening now. So how can you feel certain? How can you feel certain of something if it's not happening right now? Well, because we know they happened. With every fiber of our being, we know, we believe it to be so. So what if the future can appear just as clearly as the past? In your mind, with your memories, you can visualize your past. Why can't you do the same for the future? Remember, it is not linear. There is no past, present, future. That's not the way it works. Just as I can visualize my past, I can visualize my future. And its power lies in the knowing. The knowing. That's the place that our memories feel real in, all right? In the knowing they happened. Same with our past. It's in the knowing it's happened. When you know, you feel it. you feel it. Like when I think back on my memories, I can feel what it felt like to be in that moment. You can relive those feelings, and your feelings create your vibrations, which create your world. And just as vividly as you created your past in this moment, you can create your future. Mic drop, boom chakalaka. That's all you ever need to know. I know that just threw a spanner in the works, but you needed to hear it. You needed to hear it because that's the way life works. Just as we create our past from our current memories, from the embodiment of the feelings we experience, is the same way we create our future. Through the embodiment of the feelings we are experiencing in the future, but we just need to experience them now. And then so it is. We create them as real as anything else we can see in our physical reality. I have so much to share with you, so much about this topic, but I've decided that that's all I'm going to share on this video because I want you to be able to soak that in. It's enough. It is absolutely enough for you to take all of this information and apply it to your life and see results very, very quickly. All right, get into a good feeling place. That's what I want you to do. But I will share all my notes on this topic in the workbook. I will give it all to you, all my study notes, everything I've ever learned about this subject that's relevant for this topic. I will give it to you. I'll provide it to you so you can go through it at your own pace. Please, if you have questions, follow-up questions, anything more that you desire from this module, from this course, please ask in the group. I am here for you. I am here to deliver. I just noticed that I'm losing my voice. That's how much I'm giving to you right now. I'm giving you everything. I love you and I honor you so much. I'm so grateful that you are here. I attracted you just as you attracted me. It was this collaborative energy. We attracted each other. We were like magnets, and there was no way anything in the world could have separated us. And you being here is very important. You got exactly what you needed from this. And if you watch this again over and over again, 6 months from now, a year from now, you'll receive even more. Whatever you need in that moment, you'll receive. So I encourage you to keep watching these videos to relive this course. You have unlimited access to this course. I want you to relive it. I want you to experience this and all of its juices all over again. Work through the workbook. This week's workbook is very important, absolutely important. I'm pouring it all on the table. I'm giving you everything, the juice that you've been craving. I'm giving it all to you. Apply the techniques, apply the strategies, and you will see miracles just start flowing into your life with ease. I love you so much. You are deserving of everything just because you exist. You are here for joyous, creative expansion. And this is getting you a step closer because it's making you feel good, honey. And because you feel good, you're expanding. You're in alignment with all that you desire right now. So right now is a perfect opportunity for you to visualize, for you to be more specific with your desire. Because right now you feel good. You feel excited. You're in that expectation mode. You're in that receiving mode. All right. So ask for what you want and see it yield itself to you. I love you. So much love to you, abundant love to you, abundance, life, freedom, joy, whatever you desire. And I will see you soon on the flip side. Peace.